week for myself that had worked good for me. First getting the posture down a little bit, left hand controlling the head, reaching up. This whole game here, I really like to work where you're pulling out the lapel. I was telling everybody last week that when I first started jiu-jitsu, I really didn't like the idea of relying on any of the lapels at all, I really felt like I didn't want to develop my game too much. So if the person didn't have a gi on, I wouldn't know what to do. But I think because we have these big lapels, it really helps to use them, get some good control here. So now I feel like more you need to have a game, for your gi game, and you need to have a game as well for your no gi, especially more from the closed guard on the bottom. I think it's one of the positions that is most challenging when you switch from going with the gi to without the gi. So the armbar I usually do when I train with the gi is reaching, trying to go over the top, break them down. You got to open up your legs a little bit, try to pull out the lapel. Sometimes if they have it really in tight, it's more challenging, but a lot of times maybe you can kind of loosen up and pop it out over the top and then pass it to your left hand. Here I'll have both hands facing away from me usually. Right hand's then going to switch, boom, control here, push the head underneath, get nice and tight. Right, we come in here, really try to get that side of your hand into the artery, right? And then from here, I'll usually start going left foot in the hip, open up a little bit loose as I start to slide off to the side and start to look for the front choke over. If you can, grab onto the same part of the lapel. This puts a lot of pressure on the neck and the face. I think that to get these chokes and arm bars, the hard thing is you got to kind of be a little bit mean. You got to get in here. You got to find that cheekbone. You got to push on it here. Boom, you got to work it underneath. Keep working it. Sometimes you get the choke, but a lot of times I'll just keep trying to work up to a high guard. Oops, sorry, man. I'll keep going up to the high guard, come all the way over the top, and then looking at attacking the armbar. But I find you gotta really, you gotta I always talk about selling it. You gotta sell the first thing. Sometimes I'll be thinking I want to get the armbar, but I won't quite go for the choke enough. And then you kind of get in this middle area where you're not really choking them, but you're not really armbarring. So you gotta believe, you gotta really think, okay, I'm gonna go for the choke, but in the back of your mind you're thinking armbar. So you're really cranking on it, you're going for it, they're defending the choke, and then boom, you come over the top and finish for the armbar. So that's probably one of my favorite setups with the gi. Again, coming over, pulling, getting a good grip. I'll also do it just trying to get my hand in here, but if you can get the lapel over, this is a lot tighter. There's a couple other things you can do as well from some other good games, right? So starting to pivot, grabbing, choking here, getting up nice and high. Again, trying to get to the high guard, little pivot at the end. Boom. Once that leg clears, then both hands snap back. And always, guys, when we're going for the arm bar, in general, it's better to pull towards the armpit that's closest to their legs, right? Imagine if he fell over here, going knock over. The same concept here. If you have a person on the back, if you're ever going to try to go for the arm bar and put it towards the armpit that's closest to their head, go into the spin out here, then Mario. Then the person can spin out and start coming out. So go back to the bottom again. So just in general, anytime I finish the arm bar, I always try to focus on pulling towards the armpit that's closest, to their legs. So this way, just a little bit of a turn if it's here or if they're on top. All right. The other one I like to do a lot, no gi, and with the gi as well. This is one of my favorite setups, the arm bar. Probably the one I get the most is just swimming on the inside with one hand here and going for more of a reversed arm bar to start with to set it up. So coming through to here, nice and tight, keeping that sharp part of my wrist right on top of the elbow, boom, here. But again, to really finish the reverse arm bar, you want to hip out and get this knee higher up on the shoulder here if I just want to finish it. But for me to arm bar, do the regular arm bar, then I got to go all the way to the other side of my body. So I like usually try to go here. I'll kind of keep my back just more flat. I'm going for this here. I'm trying to pinch and pull. Everyone's going to turn this elbow in to defend, right? As they defend, left hand just follows, grab. Right hand grabs the shoulder, blocking. Then we foot in the hip, over the top, and again finish. So for here, right hand goes under. Again, maybe a little bit of a move. I'll kind of switch to the side a little bit, but not too far. Start to put pressure on the reverse arm bar. They rotate. What is it called? Supination, Julie?
Oh, correct.
Here. Boom. What's the opposite of supination?
Pronation.
Pronation, right? So I can do some supination as I supinate. You're gonna grab on here, 1, 2. I'll use that one when I coach. They're supinating. Get them. All right, we're here. Boom. Again, when you finish, just a little bit towards the armpit. Pull this way. Get them to tap. All right. So let's play with this a little bit. Like I said, and we're gonna train, and then we're gonna look at some grip breaks as well as if you get stacked. Sound good, guys? Is there anything else you guys are working on to play with? These are a couple of my favorites. Let's get a couple setups. Why don't we do like 5 apiece and then switch with your partner? Just 5 and 5. Back and forth, okay? Any kind of steps. Bruce?
I just got one quick question if we got a sec. When you're getting that grip out on that setup, is there anything, like, especially when I'm getting it from an overhook, a lot of times my own legs are in the way. Do you have any tips on actually getting
I usually try to open up my legs a little bit. It's like you want to find the balance so you don't let the person pass, you know? But I'll usually, if it's in pretty tight, you kind of have to open up a little bit. So I'll usually go here and kind of let my leg pop out, open, but I'll come back. I'll just do like little, I found works for me is rather than thinking about getting a big pull in one shot and coming over, you know, if it's really tucked in, I'll usually just kind of grab a little bit, it's kind of loosen up a little bit, just a little pull, come back a little bit, you know, open it up a little more, up, close again, kind of pull, and then if I start to get it out, then I'll get it over the top. So I just think little pops, you know, and sometimes it's hard. It's like, guys, he's really tucked in tight, so definitely more difficult, but most of the time after you've been rolling a little bit, the key loosens up and then it's easier, you know? Sound good? All right, let's play with guys. 5 and switch, okay? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Monty.